Hi, everyone. Welcome to Back to School Picnics. I'm so happy that you have decided to join us with the Ohio Virtual Academy. You're off to a wonderful start. It's going to be awesome. I'm here today to have a little fun and be a little crazy. So let me get into my costume here. I'm hoping this works. Yeah. We all get a little mad, especially in this period of COVID and all this uncertainty. It drives us a little crazy and insane, and it just so happens to turn my hair red and black. And because I'm a science teacher and we're going to do a couple little science activities, I like to protect my eyes. That's just a safety precaution. So today, one of our fun activities that we're going to do is build a catapult. Okay, we're going to build a catapult. And you can do all sorts of researching online, looking at different styles of catapults. I just like to do a little simple one because this is what my kids did in 4-H one year at camp, and I really like this activity, and I've done it with all ages of students, and I get to share it with the high schoolers this year. So one of the things that at OHVA we like to stress is really kind of our kindness initiative and how we can use this catapult, to launch kindness into all areas of our lives, including our school, our community, and our home. And there's lots of obstacles. Back in the olden days, way back in the olden days, catapults were used to launch attacks. We had a projectile object or a missile that was launched from the catapult and shot over into maybe enemy camp. Okay. So I would encourage my high schoolers here to kind of take a moment and think of some of the barriers and the obstacles that you have faced here over the last few months and that you will probably face throughout this school year. Because let me tell you, sometimes online schooling can make our hair fall out and make you just want to pull it out, especially when technology fails. So I've kind of created my own little barrier. And of course, my words are backwards because I didn't, they're backwards on the camera. Some of the barriers and obstacles that we all face from time to time are fear, fear of failure, stress can get in our ways, resources, not having enough resources or sometimes having too many resources to where we're so overwhelmed we just don't know where to start. Our health can play into things, time, attitude, enemies or frenemies, equipment, distractions. I'm a mom. I've got kids. We live on a farm. There's all sorts of distractions that get into the way of my work sometimes. And we want you to think about these catapults and how you can use them to kind of change your position, change your thought, change your perspective, change your attitude in order to launch off into success. Technology gets in the way, all sorts of things. Sometimes our internet goes down. With online education, we never get a snow day. No, the only time we get a snow day is if technology goes wonky or we crash the online school, which is known to happen. Okay, so think about those obstacles. Okay, because once we overcome those obstacles, what do we come up with? We get our little happy smiley face. Yes, I did it. We get success. We might come up with a better understanding, joy, build our confidence, gain a new perspective, a sense of pride. You might make a few friends. You might feel accomplished or relief that, oh, finally, I got it. I did it. It took a while. I never thought I was going to get there, but I did. And, there's all sorts of catapults here in the online school. Your teachers, your learning coaches, the friends that you meet in your class connect sessions, those can all be catapults to help you launch into a better you and to a much more successful school year. So, Mrs. Sheets, how do we build a catapult? Well, first and foremost, I like to gather things laying around my house. So I come up with about some popsicle sticks or tongue depressors, whatever you want to call them. I've got some handy dandy rubber bands laying around, a plastic spoon, and then I need some projectile objects. Now, here's my caution, kiddos. Please do not launch really hard super objects at one another. You know, we want to make certain that you keep yourself safe and you don't break anything. So a marble may not be a good idea, but if you're the only one doing it and in your safe location, it's been approved by your parents, you can give it a whirl. You know, last night as I was thinking, I was like, ooh, what would it be like to open a ketchup packet and put it into my catapult object and launch it at a piece of paper? What kind of splatter mark would I get? Obviously, that's going to create a mess. If you're going to do that, you want to do that where you're allowed to create a mess and then clean it up. But some other objects that you can use, and these are things that I have kind of laying around or that I can make. You know, a tape ball, a gum wrapper that's wadded up, mini marshmallows, dog food, little dog food kernel, because we've got pups around, a button maybe, okay, or a cotton ball. Now, obviously, you know, we're in my backyard. It's really windy outside. A cotton ball is not going to launch very well, okay? But those are all objects, and I'm certain you guys can get creative on launching, you know, soft objects, not hard ones, because we don't want to break anything. We don't want to get anybody hurt. Okay, so how do we go about building a catapult? And I'm going to ask myself that multiple times, you know, because I'm going to take my popsicle sticks. I'm going to take 2 of them. Now, I have labeled one lever, and I've labeled the other one fulcrum top. Okay, and so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my lever and I'm going to put it on top of my fulcrum top, and I'm going to secure this with a rubber band. Okay, I'm going to make an X across it. And this might be slightly different than the instruction sheet that is provided to you. You know, there's more than one way to make catapults. There's different styles of catapults that can be made too. This is my method. Okay, so here I've got my basic thing. This is my lever. This is going to be my launch pad down here. Okay, and in this scenario, I glued a bottle cap for my launch pad. Okay, obviously I can't use a catapult until the launch pad is dry. For this one that we're building right now, I'm going to use a plastic spoon, and I'll show you how to attach that in a few minutes. Okay, then I'm going to take my remaining sticks. Okay, I'm going to leave one behind, so I'm going to leave one out. I'm going to take my others, I'm going to stack them, and I'm going to put them underneath my fulcrum. Okay, underneath my fulcrum, and I'm going to secure each end of this stack with another rubber band. Okay, I'm going to secure them, and every now and then you have to kind of straighten things out because things get a little wonky. It's okay. Just like I feel like my wig's going to fall off. You know, I tell my kids that I'm going to lose my hair. They're going to cause it to fall out and go gray. Okay, I'm just getting an early start. So here is this. You can see that I now have a stack. Okay, this fulcrum piece can move. You know, you can push it up and down your lever. You'll just have to adjust your rubber bands as needed. Okay, but I kind of like to keep my fulcrum stack about not quite to the top, but fairly close to that. Then I'm going to take my last remaining stick, okay, and I'm going to insert it in this fulcrum stick or this fulcrum stack at the very bottom. Okay, so see how I'm going through that? I'm going to insert it through. Okay. I now have kind of like an airplane model, and I want to create a little tension here. So I'm going to push these 2 ends at the small end down together. I'm going to take another rubber band, and this one I suggest that you use a little more solid rubber band or a little thicker one, okay? Because you're going to put a lot of pressure down here. And the last thing we want is your catapults to fall apart when we launch them. And of course, you know, and it may do better if you adjust your fulcrum, you pull that down. That should work. Okay. So now I have the basic design of my catapult, my fulcrum's in place. You know, I've created a V, so now I've got a spring. Okay. Now to my lever, I'm going to take my plastic spoon and I'm going to attach it to my lever, again, with another rubber band. It's whatever you can find laying around the house. Aha, voila. See, now I have a spoon. Now I can play around with this, okay, by adjusting the length of my spoon where it's at. Maybe I'm only going to put pressure on the spoon. Obviously, this is a fairly flimsy spoon. It may not work very well. Okay. Or maybe I just want to keep it here, okay, where it's sitting on top of my lever. Okay. And I will learn to just push down on the lever, the popsicle stick itself. Okay. The other thing that I would encourage you to do is change the position of your fulcrum. Move it back, move it forward, because if you change the position of your fulcrum, it may change how your projectile flies. Okay. And science is all about making observations. I'm certain as I'm doing the video, you guys are looking around going, what does Shell have going on in her backyard? You probably saw one of the dogs walking around behind me. Okay. So now that I have my catapult launched, okay, now I need a target. You can take a piece of paper and make a bullseye, or, I lost an item. I did, I lost it. See, I'm losing my marbles. A fruit cup works really well, or an applesauce cup. This has my collection of objectiles in it. Okay. Or you can take an assortment of plastic lids and kind of make like a skee ball thing. Okay. And they're not stuck together. You can assign point values. If you've got siblings that want to build a catapult too, you guys can lay around, put this in the center of your circle, and then back up and launch mini marshmallows into it. And see whose marshmallows can enter the green circle. Okay. Because, with this, you can make it, here I've created my own bullseye. Okay. Or skee ball version. You decide. But ultimately, we want to be able to launch kindness. We want to launch a new approach, a new attack, okay, to be successful. And, all my high schoolers, as you guys are getting older, you can always use a tape measure to see how far you can launch obstacles. So you can't have fun unless you launch something. Okay? And let's just see if I can launch it. Do not try this all at home. Okay? But I've got a little mini marshmallow. I want to launch it into success for next year. And there it went! Over the back of the computer. It's so much fun. The things that you can do with science. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of experimenting. And as you move forward through this school year, use your catapults to help readjust your focus. Don't hesitate to reach out to your teachers if you're struggling. If technology is giving you fits, we're all here to help support you to make this your best year ever. So with that, I bid you adieu and enjoy your catapults and the 2021 school year.